Coming up on today's show, we have a great new chicken recipe and a pumpkin recipe that is sure to please your dessert palate. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne Dede.
And Marge Dangle has come through again and has supplied us with some awesome recipes. Some chicken parmesan, which love chicken, so this is going to be a great new recipe.
It will.
And a great pumpkin dessert.
Okay, yes it is. It's very easy to make. You're going to bake your chicken, chicken in the oven, from 45 to 55 minutes. Depends on how crunchy you like it.
Okay.
And chicken, you always want to make sure it's done.
Right.
We're going to go ahead. I have 2/3 cup Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
And just the grated stuff, like you put over your spaghetti or that. Then 3/4 cup crushed cornflakes.
Okay.
And it says for one package of dry ranch dressing.
Okay.
And I buy the bulk ranch dressing, so one packet is about 2 tablespoons of that. So I'm going to mix that in there. And just mix that together. And I melted half a stick of butter.
Okay.
About a 1/4 cup there, because we're going to first layer our chicken in the butter. And then we coat it with, the crumbs and the Parmesan and stuff. So let's just blend that together. There's been times when recipes have called for cornflakes, and if I don't have cornflakes on hand, I usually have Rice Krispies, and Rice Krispies work really good too.
Oh yeah.
For a lot of those things that you want to make a little crunchy.
Right.
And stuff. So, like I said, we want to get that blended well, especially with that ranch dressing in there. And that's going to give the chicken such a great flavor with that Parmesan cheese in there. Okay, so. And you want to make sure your chicken is kind of dry. I had it out. I've, tried to dab it a few times, but I'm going to just lay it on a paper towel again before I dip it in the butter here.
Okay.
Just to, make sure it's a little drier, so that I get more of the butter on it.
Okay.
Stuff, you don't want too many juices. And take a 9 by 13 pan, and do want to spray that just a little bit so it doesn't stick, so you can do that.
Okay.
So lay the next piece of chicken there. And of course the butter is going to help the coating mix stick to the chicken better, but it also, when it bakes, it'll be crunchier.
Okay.
And that. Would you give me a fork, please?
Sure.
I'm gonna there, and just coat your chicken well with that. And just dab it on there so it sticks. Okay. So we'll just lay that in there. And put the next chicken breast on the little paper towel there. And so this is very easy. It's quick, and yet, just something a little bit different to chicken.
Right.
And that, so. And
Well,
cornflakes makes, gives a nice crunch to it, but that Parmesan cheese and ranch dressing is really that extra flavoring that you have in there. So just push that on there so it kind of sticks a little bit more.
Well, this is a recipe I think that your whole family would like, because chicken is a good meal for kids. They like it. And
it is so easy. Now with the frozen chicken breasts, you can just pick them up and, you know, and that's the way we like it, because family isn't too much of, you know, liking dark meat.
Right.
And it's nice to be able to get those chicken breasts, and so many different things, ways you can make them.
Well, and chicken is a healthy food for you too.
It is.
Don't know it's always so healthy what you put on the chicken, but.
Okay. Well, you don't see that we put butter in here. You won't notice. You won't see it. So what you don't see don't count.
Okay. We'll talk to the doctor about that.
Oh, okay. And like I said, I'm trying to use as much of that coating as I can, you know, putting a little bit more on top, and so that, you know, when it bakes, you want those little extra crunchies on that.
Soak up the butter, and then you use almost all the butter there, so.
It worked. It's just perfect, you know. Like I said, that was just a 1/4 cup. And the recipe says, you know, 4 chicken breasts for this, so. And I know you can definitely get different sizes. It says, you know, about 1 pound, whatever. I'm sure that, you know, the size of these, it's a little bit more, but that's okay. Because, you know, with the family, you know, one of these chicken breasts probably would feed 2 of the youngsters, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
The kids and stuff, and there it would go quite a ways. And you're going to bake it uncovered.
Okay.
In there, that's going to help, you know, to get crispier too. You don't want to cover it. So we're going to set that aside and put that in the oven. And I did preheat the oven to 350. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start with putting it on convection bake. For me, that, you know, with airflow in there, it just helps brown it better or faster. So, but when we make our pie, here, this fluffy pumpkin cheesecake pie, we're going to take it off convection.
Okay.
But I thought I would just start it with that. So. Okay, and this recipe here too is, it's easy to make. We're going to start with you know, prepared graham cracker crust, but that doesn't mean that you can't make your own. You know, when I make that, I use probably about 12 pieces of graham crackers, and about 1/4 cup sugar, a little bit of cinnamon in there, and that, and then your butter, and you just to bake that.
Right.
It's, if you don't have one of those on hand or whatever, so it's easy to do that. Okay, I'm going to get my mixer out here. We start with 12 ounces of cream cheese, so that's 1.5 packages, the 8 ounces.
Okay.
So we're going to put that in there. And it's good to have it out a little bit from the fridge so that it softens a little bit and isn't quite, you know, as stiff or whatever if you just took it directly out of the refrigerator. And then we want to beat that till it's nice and fluffy.
Okay.
So we'll get that going.
Okay.
So now we're going to add 1/2 cup of sugar.
All right.
And that looks like I've got some cream cheese on my fingers here. So we're going to add 1/2 cup of sugar. And 1.5 teaspoons pumpkin spice.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have pumpkin spice, you can make your own, because you use like a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Okay.
And a 1/4 cup of ginger, and 1/8 cup, and I'm saying cups. I think we're going to have a little bit too much here. Let's go back. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 ginger, and 1/8 teaspoon of cloves.
Oh, okay.
And you can make your own pumpkin spice if you don't have. I mean, I always have all those spices on hand, but I don't necessarily always have pumpkin spice.
Okay.
But having pumpkin spice is so easy. You just put in that and you don't have to worry. So We're just going to beat this up, get that well mixed. And then we're going to add 2 eggs. We'll add 1 egg at a time.
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of bring those, scrape that sides a little bit here. Okay. Let that beat, and then we're going to add the eggs. Okay, just get that blended, and we'll add the next one. Get that mixed well, and then I'm going to just scrape that bowl again and just beat it for a few more seconds, and then we add 1 can of canned pumpkin.
Is it?
I mean, 1 can, 1 cup.
1 cup of
right.
canned pumpkin. So this is a recipe that you can easily double if you are needing to make a couple pies for an event or
absolutely, because
your
you know
family.
your 1 can of pumpkin like this has 2 cups.
Right.
So it definitely would be easy to double that.
Sure.
And you know, especially for the holidays, how do you make 1 pie this good and expect it to go around? It's just not. Okay. So we'll add that. And you know, pumpkin freezes well. You know, if you only do make 1 and you have that other cup, you know, put it in a container and freeze it for the next time.
Sure.
Or, you know, you can make pumpkin bars, anything. Okay, so we'll just blend that. I mean, it's a very, very simple recipe, but it's so good. So then we're going to put that in that crust, and then we bake it for 30 to 35 minutes at 350.
Okay.
So, again, we'll be able to put it in with our baked chicken and just sit back and relax and wait till it's done.
Let the oven do the work.
I think that sounds like a plan.
There should just be a dishwasher.
Oh.
We'd be in heaven then.
Yeah, yes. Well, be nice to be like on Bewitched and just wiggle your nose and it's all done. That might take some of the fun out of things.
I can't think of much.
You can't think of much, no?
Cleaning, cooking, it's just there. It's done.
Yeah.
Laundry all folded
and nice and neat.
Yes,
and
ironed.
stuff, so, okay. And this will make a nice sized, I mean, there'll be quite a bit of filling in here.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to put that in there. And then, you know, this here, I would just garnish. Then when it's cooled, and I would keep this in the fridge.
Okay.
You know, if you don't happen to eat it all at once, you know, you do refrigerate it. But I think garnishing it with just some Cool Whip or whatever when you serve it.
Absolutely.
You know, and I haven't bought it, but I have seen cinnamon Cool Whip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now that would be really, I think, very good on this too. So.
Yep, I think that's more something you might see in the grocery store, just coming up with the fall season here, holiday time coming up.
Probably is, because I haven't really paid much attention to it, but I think, you know, that's out there. So, and we can see that it certainly made plenty of filling. And this pie crust that I did buy is that one that says 2 extra servings in there.
Okay.
It's a little bit bigger pie plate than, you know, there's 2 sizes now.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to put that in the oven. And we're going to put the timer on for, what do we say, 30 minutes?
30 to 35 was it?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I always like to start with the lesser, when it says, you know, 30 to 35 or whatever.
Check it.
Check it, because you can always add, you know, that extra few minutes. So we got that set. Now we just have to sit back and wait, and I think this will be a nice touch to, you know, our chicken. Oh, that looks great. Let's just set it over here.
Oh, okay.
We'll just put it on there. And I think our chicken is done too.
Oh, look at that.
Just look at how nice and crunchy and crispy that looks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, and you know, that would be great. You could do so many things, you know, feature it with some, you know, rice or, you know, Alfredo or just anything. That would be, you know, a nice side dish to something like this.
Sure.
And it's nice and crunchy. And when I did, you know, like I said, I did kind of put a little extra coating on top, you know, and that. So give it a little good coating.
Sure. Well, I mean, there was plenty in that mixture that we did up. So
absolutely, and stuff. So
just going to give the chicken more flavor.
All right. So we have that, and then we have our pie here. That's kind of a little bit warm to feature here, but let's just
well,
take
and
it
the
out
perfect
there.
garnish to that would just be some homemade whipped cream, or like you were saying, around the holiday time, probably find some cinnamon Cool Whip, which would be perfect.
Absolutely.
With that too.
You know, that would give it a nice little extra flavor to it.
Absolutely.
I love cinnamon, so that would be really good.
Yes.
And that. So
and thank you again, Marge Dangle, for submitting these recipes for us. They are just awesome. And you could go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com, to submit your recipes and to get these awesome recipes. Also, a new thing, our sponsor, the Workshop, is now being able to have the recipes there. So stop in, get your chicken, get your fresh meat, and grab recipes from Cooking Crave. Thank you so much for being our sponsor. Have a great day.